So some of the common connectivity challenges we see across the moment, cities at the moment, are one is about the ubiquitousness of the coverage. There are often very large areas of the city that don't get the coverage that's needed for today's modern communication needs. And also we find that those where connectivity is being deployed and invested tends to be on a very sort of localized basis. So you end up almost with sort of pockets of great connectivity and then gaps or not spots where there's very limited connectivity. And the challenge then is to how to do that infill and create the interoperability of where you've got good and bad. Yeah, so we've taken a very interesting approach to how to solve this problem in London. Just recently we've announced a concession partnership with Transport for London, where we're going to be utilising the vast array of physical assets that the Transport for London organisation has, in terms of the tunnels, for example, in the London Underground and the stations, together with the above ground assets such as lampposts and traffic management ducting and CCTV cameras, all of which can be utilised to help solve some of the connectivity challenges in London today. So for other cities, particularly many cities don't have the advantage of an underground system which can readily enable you to get large stretches of connectivity across the city boundaries quite easily. But all cities will tend to have old ducting, whether it be from former tram systems or whether it be for their traffic management systems, which can have space to be able to run modern fibre communications through. A lot of cities will have other physical assets, lampposts, bus stops, for example, all of which can lend themselves to being fitted with new, for example, 5G radio systems, small cells as we call them, and connect up to that ducting which enables fibre deployment, so you can get that connectivity that traditionally just hasn't been there for those assets. And in so doing, it's kind of like the secret sauce in terms of how you turn those physical assets that public bodies have into the modern digital infrastructure that is so important for today's society and business. One of the exciting developments in connectivity is the emergence of what's known as 5G private networking. So with 5G, we're starting to see really fast speeds available on the mobile connections, together with much better response times. And that starts to make mobile more akin to what we're used to with fixed connections, in particular fibre connections. But the challenge comes with our public mobile networks that we all use, is sometimes the performance on that connection can fluctuate. And that's fine as a consumer when you're just downloading content from the internet. That fluctuation would be imperceptible. But in business, where we're starting to look at using 5G technologies to maybe control machinery, for example, in real time, that fluctuation in performance is a real problem. One way around that is to be able to have a private network that only certain applications can use, such that you can control the performance of that network on an end-to-end basis. And this becomes tremendously exciting, particularly in sort of urban and city areas, where you're starting to see applications emerge such as autonomous transport. And that's really pertinent for us here in the UK right now, where we have a big challenge with drivers. So there's certain environments you could see that are maybe point-to-point in a controlled environment, where some of those truck movements could actually be automated, freeing up drivers to be able to drive the more complex routes. So a very exciting development, and we're looking forward to being able to see how we can push forward 5G private networking.